Why do we even have the recall? He's just like Davis.
Yeah. I don't remember too many movies I made. I was in a little sitcom once.
But, in terms of governing, where do you think there are differences between your approach, your ideology, and that of the current governors?
And you are
Dan Smith with the Sacramento Bee.
I think the governor is one of the greatest salespersons on the planet Earth. He thinks really big on every issue. I think on balance he's done a good job. He obviously got off to a rocky start in 2005. I opposed all those initiatives. But I think the seminal moment was when he hired Susan Kennedy, another alumni that I'm proud is still doing good work for the people of California. And he's done, I think he's done quite well since then. I mean, you know, I was totally different. I'm not a global movie star. I believed in making progress on a, kind of consistent basis. I used to say incrementalism, in part because I didn't want anyone to get scared. I could see where I wanted to be in 3 or 4 years. And I said, well, let's just go so far down the road in year one and we'll decide what we'll do. The year one, I fully intended to ask him to go a little farther down the road in year 2 and so forth. But I wanted to take life in kind of bite-sized chunks. He's much grander and bolder in his vision, and I think it served California well. I do want to let you know I was in a sitcom called Yes, Dear, and chased Tim Conway out of a skybox at a real-life Laker, Minnesota basketball game. They don't tell you when you're at the game that there's a sitcom being filmed. And at halftime, I'm chasing Tim Conway, who threw a glass of water in my face, out of the box, down the stairs, onto the floor. Real-life game, teams are warming up. 2 weeks later, I'm at an event with Governor Dick Machin. We're both doing something for public television. He says, Governor, I was at that basketball game, and I saw you were out in the court. I thought you'd lost your marbles. Well, no, I didn't. I don't want to say I haven't done at least one adventure.
Rob Griffith, Capital Television News Service. Legislative Analyst Office came out today, report projecting like a $10 billion deficit as we're going down the road for next fiscal year. You are essentially fired as governor for fiscal mismanagement. Is there some sense of vindication that these financial problems have gone on even under a new governor, new administration?
Well, without commenting on the premise of your question, I will say this. Nobody has repealed the business cycle, and every governor who serves more than just a couple years will experience both the good and the bad that comes with our economy. There'll be strong years when revenues are pouring in, and there'll be weak years when we're scratching to find every nickel. The answer, of course, is to adopt a spending limit which stockpiles money in good years that you can draw down in bad years. That's obviously easier said than done. But the only way you avoid this roller coaster ride of feast or famine is to have some constitutional amendment in place that requires you to put aside 3 or 4% of the budget, and you only draw it down under certain circumstances when the economy looks like it's weakening and revenues are falling. Everyone agrees with that in concept, but somehow you can't seem to get that passed. I hope as a byproduct of dealing with this budget challenge that the legislation of the governor not only make prudent decisions, and I believe they will, but also tackle this larger question of putting a spending limit before the voters so that we'll have some stability. Otherwise, there's just no governor. The governors yet unborn will be governors in the next century, male or female, will be dealing with the same problem we're discussing today.
Governor, is one back there.
Kevin Riggs from KCRA.
Yes.
You seem different than the governor we used to chase around the Capitol. You seem to be enjoying life more. How do you feel you've changed? And do you, in a funny way now, are you relieved or glad that the recall succeeded?
Well, I'm not glad the recall succeeded. But, there is a certain freedom that comes with both age and not being in the bubble. And as I shared with some of you outside, I'm frequently asked to give speeches. And now, if some people in the audience don't like my speech, it's no longer my problem. It's their problem. I mean, what do they pay for it? It's it. So. I'll just share one thing with you, which I know will go over like a lead balloon. But I've been out of office 4 years now. I have yet to find a single person, from a busboy to a janitor to a middle manager to a partner in a law firm to a CEO, that wants to give Sacramento more of their disposable income. Not one human being. There's a few sort of aging liberals in their 80s that are happy to write larger checks, and I think we should encourage that and send them thank you notes. We did raise the car tax in my last year. We reduced it very substantially for the first 4 years, and I thought people would understand that we'd given them back about $12 billion, and we're asking back for $4 billion. They said, hey, you gave that $12 billion back to us. That was not our choice, that was your choice. You gave it to us, that's ours. We're not giving it back. So it's, you know, it's difficult to make choices when the economy turns. And if we don't put in place some structural change, you'll be asking the same question of future governors once the economy turns.
Bobby Schmidt, I'm a stringer with the campus.
Robert, how are you? The San Jose Mercury, God bless you.
Well, right now I'm a stringer with the Campus Commons Homeowners Association newsletter.
Once a reporter, always a reporter. Wait a minute. You may not know 6 degrees of separation. When I worked for Jerry Brown, I was a homeowner in Campus Commons.
My question is, if Jerry Brown...
My wife looked in the icebox one day, and there was 1 can of Budweiser and some cold pizza. It said, this has got to change.
If Jerry Brown runs for governor, would you campaign for him?
You know, I don't want to get ahead of ourselves here. I said outside, Jerry Brown will be a favorite in any race he enters. The name Edmund G. Brown Jr. has never lost in a Democratic primary. Edmund G. Brown has never lost in a primary, nor has Edmund G. Brown Jr., nor has Kathleen Brown. So that's a very powerful name in Democratic politics. We'll just wait to see if he runs before I answer the second part of your question.